friend Roger Christofferson here again with another First Listen review. And yeah, I've been actually really diving deep into these guys this whole year, so I am really ready to babble about Blue Oyster Cult once again. They just released their third installment of their 50th anniversary live series called Live in New York, or Live in NYC actually, third night. And this is obviously it's the third installment of what they've been doing, is covering their first three albums in celebration of their 50-year anniversary. And the first two I really enjoyed a lot. They had like a kind of a rarities album came out also earlier this year. I think that was in April. Second night I think was just in August, if I'm not mistaken. The first one's about a year ago. And this one, of course, if you're a fan of the band, which I am, is Secret Treaties. And this is like one of these albums that, for me, I didn't even know about till I was like already into them quite a bit. Like one of the first albums, I've probably mentioned this before, was Club Ninja and Revolution by Night are a couple of my favorites, and it was like some of the first two I got. It's probably why they're my favorites, because sometimes that happens. You know, when you get into a band, whatever it was that attracted you from the start kind of sticks with you more. I don't know, I just really like those albums, and I probably mentioned this before in one of the other ones I did, that I was lucky enough to do a show with Oyster Cult. My band was anyway. We did a show with them. They actually played before us. I mean, we were the support band, but they played before, and we ended the night. It was kind of really strange, but awesome show nonetheless. And so it was just kind of cool that, you know, I was a kid, I mean, really young, was listening to these guys, and then in you know, my mid-20s there, I guess it was, I got to play with them. It was like just like a surreal experience for me, so that was pretty cool. So, you know, different people in the band back then. In this lineup, they have still, you know, they got Eric Bloom and Buck Dharma are still with them, but now they got some newer guys in the band. Got Richie Castellano in there, who I believe is in the Band Geeks, did that thing with Johnny Anderson, if I'm not mistaken. Danny Miranda and Jules Rodino. And they also had Albert Bouchard guest on a few of the songs on this one, and that was pretty cool. Actually did it on the other two as well, but so it was cool to have him back in the band. But nobody other than Eric and Buck from the original version in this one, but that didn't stop it from sounding really good. This was recorded very well, by the way. The production on this is great. The crowd was very lively in it, and they were on fire. The performance of this, it's not too often you get to hear some of these songs. So it's not like they play like a lot of, I have like a lot of the bootlegs from these guys, and I was listening to this, I'm like, man, this is cool just hearing some of these songs just being performed live, and you know what they sound like nowadays. And these guys are tight. They're a tight group. I mean, obviously two of them have been doing it for quite a while. The other two are just, or other three, I mean, are just phenomenal musicians, and they just, you can tell that they've got that that glue that holds them together. Some bands, you know, even though they've been together years, sometimes don't have that feel, and these guys really somehow still have it. So it was really cool, just especially songs like, you know, ME 262. Wasn't really sure how that was going to translate live, but it sounded great. They had a different feeling to it, but it's just a cool rock tune, and so that was kind of cool to hear. And then, you know, some other stuff, you know, we don't normally hear too much, like, I don't know, Flaming Telepaths, don't really remember hearing that before, and any of the other stuff I've got, but could be mistaken, but I don't remember hearing it. And, you know, the Eric and Buck's voices are just still stellar. I mean, I've always been more of a fan of Buck singing than Eric's, even though Eric sang more of the bulk of the stuff, I guess, but it's always been my favorite, so anytime he gets to sing something, I always kind of really enjoy that. Probably the highlight of this one for me was Astronomy, and the guitar playing in that one, just the solo in that one, insane. It was like some of the best stuff I think I've ever heard him do, so that was really cool to hear that. And I'm not mistaken, I think El actually played drums on that one too, so that was pretty cool. Good way to end that one off. But they do add a couple extra songs onto that one. You know, they do Stairway to the Stars, which is off the first album. And, you know, then they go to the Golden Age of Leather. You know, this is kind of where they did a few rarities, but they also threw in, you know, some of the well-known stuff. And we got Godzilla and Burning for You in here. One of my favorites they actually threw in was Shooting Sharks. I don't know, something about that song. I've always liked it. It's a little weird, doesn't sound like any of the rest of their stuff, but I really thought that was a cool little thing to throw in here. I've heard that one live before they've done that one a couple, in the past. I've got a couple other bootlegs where I've heard that on there, but every time I hear that song, I kind of like it. I wish they would actually done more from that album. I don't think they did anything from Club Ninja on here, and I'm looking at it. No, I don't see anything from that album on here. Oh well. They got like Black Blade, which was a kind of cool one to hear as well. And what was I thinking? When I heard, I Love the Night, when that one popped on, I was like, man, that is a cool song. You really hear that one much. Of course, it was The Alchemist was right before that, which is always a fun song to hear. I believe they've done that one a few times, and threw Joan Crawford in here, which is, I don't know, it's just one of those creepy songs that I remember as a kid, the first time I heard that song. It was actually my favorite one off of the album, even though I think that one had a couple more bigger hits, if you know what I'm talking about, but that one actually really stuck out for me. It's just every time I hear it, I'm like, it just sounds spooky to me. I don't know, something about it. And then the end with City is on Flame with Rock and Roll, which is kind of funny because it's one of my least favorite songs of theirs, but actually so is Godzilla. I don't know what it is. Some of their biggest songs are ones that just never really my favorites, but some of the rarities on here are some of my favorite ones, so that was cool. Kind of balanced it out for me, but they really don't have a bad song, so even though they're not my favorites, they're still good songs. There's nothing on here that I dislike. They actually really don't. I can't even think of a song of theirs that I don't enjoy or I just hate. So just one of those bands that I really, of course I forgot to mention, Don't Fear the Reaper, but that's expected. There's some songs you just know they're gonna do, and they did them. But it was nice to hear the rarities in here as well. Recorded very well. These guys sounded really on top of their game. I don't know if they're gonna do any more of these or not, but man, if they kept going through the whole catalog, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind hearing a couple of the ones I mentioned there in their full glory. But anyway, it was a cool little addition to the collection for now. So anyway, if there's anything you guys want to add, feel free. I don't know what the heck that noise just was, but anything you guys want to add, feel free. And and as always, I ask you to like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because I really like these guys, and if they're going to keep doing stuff like this, I am ready for it. And until then, we will see you.